Wildcard has been activated. Hi everyone, my name's Neil. Welcome back to my channel and another FPL video. This is my 16th season playing FPL. If you'd like to have a look at my career history, then you can do so by going to the Fantasy Premier League website and putting in my team ID, which is 9046, and from there you'll be able to access my career history. Now, this video is about my wildcard team. I have rather reluctantly activated the wildcard button, which I did last night, and I'm going to go into the reasons why. Now, for those of you who watch my video about wildcarding and wildcard targets, etc., last week or whenever it was, you will notice that was a big advocate of leaving the wildcard for as long as possible and only using it when it's absolutely necessary, when your team's sort of riddled with injuries and other issues. However, I've had a little bit of a U-turn on that, and I don't know what it is, but every year I have this plan that no matter what, I will leave the wild card for at the very least 10 weeks. But I don't know what it is. Something always happens just to make me want to use it. And the reason why I have felt that I've needed to do it is, I've got to be honest, so it's down to two things mainly. It's Ronaldo, and it is also the fact that the midfielders that are kind of in the 7.5 price bracket, who kind of lent a lot of argument to having a more balanced team and only having two premiums, in order so you can have those 7.5 midfielders in your team. All of a sudden, in the space of a weekend, I kind of feel like I don't want any of those players now. So yeah, they're the two main reasons. I haven't actually got any issues with my team in terms of injuries. Well, I've got a couple of players that are doubt, but I don't think it's anything serious. But yeah, it's just I've been having watched Ronaldo play for two games. I've come to the conclusion that it's far too dangerous to not own him, especially given his ownership levels at the moment. My plan was to not have him really at all, certainly not for a while, and just run with two premiums in Salah and Lukaku. However, because what I wanted to have a look at how certain things were going to pan out, because there were a few sort of question marks on how he's going to do. The fact that he's 36 now, he's not been in the Premier League for a long time now. How are Man United going to be able to play around him? Are they going to be able to set up in such a way that they're going to get the best out of him? And you know what? From watching those first two games, I've come to the conclusion that no matter how Man United set up, I just think he's going to find ways of scoring goals in pretty much, well, I'd say almost every game. I've noticed a few things about him that make me think that basically his predatory instincts around the area, the runs he's making, his anticipation. I mean, you could argue that he's had two tap-ins, but he has. But it's his movement and anticipation that has allowed him to be in those positions to tap those goals in. And it's, if you look at, I'm going to show you his stats in a minute. His stats are absolutely through the roof now. They're just ridiculous. I'll show you them in a minute. So yeah, so just going back to those midfielders that I was talking about, the guys in the kind of 7.5 category. So the main ones are Greenwood, Jota, who else? Torres, and Gundogan possibly. Now all of a sudden, I feel like I just don't want any of those players. Jota was awful again, and we are also a week now closer to Firmino being back. So that is kind of making me lean towards not really want to have him anymore. Greenwood, as much as he's been a good pick for me, I've noticed that since Ronaldo has been in the team, Greenwood has been completely ineffective in the position he's playing in, and the stats also bear that out. And actually, in Jesse Lingard, there's potentially yet another player that's a kind of threat to his starting position. So I feel like I feel like I'm done with him really. So Torres, he didn't even start. He didn't start, but he didn't even come on when City needed a goal. Just stayed on the bench the whole game. So that doesn't exactly instill you with much confidence that Pep's gonna, keep picking him. Now, given that also they've got Foden and KDB are also back, so he all of a sudden doesn't seem like a great option. Gundogan is, I believe he's picked up an injury, and I was going to sell him anyway because Man City have got 2 tough fixtures coming up. That's kind of my thought process around it. I just don't want to go any more games without having Ronaldo in my team. I don't normally like to make decisions based around ownership, but I think Ronaldo is just a unique player. He's just like no other. He's just an absolute goal machine. So the usual rules don't really apply to him, I don't feel. So let's just show you my wildcard team. In fact, before I do that, I mentioned about Ronaldo's stats. So here they are. So what I've done, I have, this is from the Fantasy Football Scout website. So because Ronaldo's only played 2 games, it's only fair to compare him against all the other players over the last 2 games. So this is the statistical data for all the forwards for the last 2 games. And Ronaldo is absolutely miles ahead of anyone else in all the key areas. Goal attempts, 13. Next best is 8. Shots inside the box, 12. Next best is 7. Shots on target, he's top for that as well. Penalty area touches, top for that as well, 21. Some distance ahead of the majority of the rest of the players, but apart from Pookie there. And this is the key one. Look at this. Expected goals, 3.24. The next best is 1.31. That's just, it's miles ahead. Expected goal involvement, the same, 3.35. Miles ahead of anyone else. So yeah, Ronaldo has just convinced me that I need to have him, and I don't want to lose Salah, and I certainly don't want to lose Lukaku with the fixtures Chelsea have got coming up. So what I've done is I've brought him in and I've kept the other 2 premiums as well. So yeah, I have got 3 premiums, which a couple of weeks ago I was saying is not the optimal strategy, and it might still not be, but this is the way I've decided to go. So there's the team there. I brought Ramsdale, so I've actually made 11 changes altogether. I've brought in Ramsdale, Alonso, Duffy, Livramento, Gallagher, Sarr, Ronaldo, Foster, Christensen, Gilmore, and I've got this non-playing guy at the moment just because I just didn't have any funds left. What I might do, if by the time the next game week starts, I might have to forego Gallagher and have either Townsend or Decore, who seem pretty much the best of the kind of 5.5 midfielder options, because that'll mean I can upgrade this player to somebody that, at least somebody who plays. So that's my team. I wanted 2 Chelsea defenders because I just, their defence is just so good. So I've got 3 premiums, I've got Trent, and I've also got two Chelsea defenders in there. I'm quite happy with it. That is just about the best team I could put together with my team value, which isn't too good, to be honest, because I've lost some money on certain players. But yeah, this is the best team I could put together, which still enables me to have the 3 premiums plus Trent Alexander-Arnold plus the 2 Chelsea defenders. So yeah, I mean, the midfield, if you look at that's the obvious kind of weak area. But I think Sarr has been showing. I mean, I know he got 2 goals at the weekend, but his statistics have been very good as well. I'll show you them actually. So if we go to the midfielders, we'll filter that for the whole season, so all 5 game weeks, and he does quite well on these statistics here for some of the key areas. So where are we? Goal attempts, he's up there, sort of 6th, 7th. Shots inside the box, he's up there in the top 4. Expected goals, he's doing quite well on as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that pick. And Watford's fixtures are reasonable, certainly over the next 2. The only thing I don't like about this team is that it lacks flexibility, really. So if, for example, in another 2 game weeks, say, if I felt that I needed to move Sarr on, because perhaps if he picks up an injury, or actually if you look at their fixtures that are coming up after the next 2, they're a little bit tricky after that. So I may decide that I want to move him on at that point, but I haven't really got anyone to go to in that kind of price range. I could potentially stretch to someone like Rafinha, but then I'd have to find money from somewhere else. That kind of 0.4 I think I'd need. So yeah, I like this team, but it does have some limitations. But yeah, I mean, it's just about the best team I could get. But there's still a week to go. I could potentially do some more tinkering. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you like the team? Anything that you would suggest I should change? Be interested to hear your opinions. What it does mean is that I am going to have to play 4 at the back, because I don't want to play Gilmore or whoever this player is going to be, whether it's this Mendy guy or if I upgrade him to a 4.5 base rate player who plays, that's someone like Brownhill, for example. I just don't really see that they're going to get that many points, so I am going to play 4, but I think I've got a couple of good defenders in there, cheap, really good value. I've got my Brighton defender, and Livramento. Southampton's defence seems to be a lot better than it was last season, and he's actually pretty good. He's quite attacking, I think, as well. I've gone for the Arsenal keeper because I think Arsenal's fixtures are really good now, and at 4.5 I think Ramsdale is a good pick. You'll also notice I've got Foster in there. He actually played for Watford. They've dropped the normal goalkeeper back, Buchanan his name is, I think, and Foster played. So who knows, he might be the number 1 now, and it's actually quite useful as in Wildcard, in quite a nice thing to have a playing £4 million goalkeeper who I could potentially use at some point when Ramsdale has got a harder fixture. So yeah, that's my team, and I hope I've explained well enough my reasons for pressing that wildcard button. It was a bit of a reluctant thing for me to do. I just, I wanted to leave it for longer, but I just felt enough is enough, and I think it's fair enough. There is sound logic behind it. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like the video, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you give us some feedback, leave some comments in the comment section on the video, anything from the video, the the content, the presentation, the graphics, the length of the videos, is it too long, too short, etc. Yeah, just helps me to keep improving my content. So yeah, that's it for the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.